jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh! Santa, what are you doing here? You're early.
Christmas isn't coming this year.
What's wrong with your beard?
Oh, it's a prop.
What?
The last 40 years has been fake.
Really?
Global warming.
Oh.
I'm kidding. It grows on Christmas Eve.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, wait a minute. What do you mean Christmas isn't coming this year?
Well, Christmas is coming, but I'm not going to have any part of it anymore.
What do you mean?
I'm hanging up my sleigh.
Santa, you can't retire.
Have you got Tim Allen's phone number?
Stop. What's going on, Santa?
It's embarrassing.
What is it?
Well, I guess I can tell you. I have been diagnosed as a type 2 diabetic.
Oh, well, I'm sorry to hear that.
So I've got to retire.
Well, you know, type 2 diabetes is bad and all, but you know what? With proper planning and diet, you don't have to retire.
Oh, being Santa isn't like any other job, son. I have to visit millions of homes in one night.
You can still do that.
No, you don't get it. I have to go to millions and millions of houses, and in each house, the children leave me my most favorite snack in the entire world. Cookies.
Hey, did somebody mention cookies?
Is there an echo in this kitchen?
No, but you know what? I think this is somebody who could help you.
Help me?
Yeah. Just wait for it.
Hey, who's got the cookies?
Cookie Creature, Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas, Craig! Oh, Santa, is that you?
Yes, it's me. Why am I speaking to a blue stocking?
It's Christmas. Just go with it.
I think I put coal in him last year.
Cookie. Santa was just diagnosed as a type 2 diabetic.
Oh, why don't you just tell the whole sock drawer?
And now he's thinking about retiring.
Oh, no!
And I thought talking to a snowman was strange.
Santa, I'm a type 2 diabetic too. I thought I had to give up what I love most, but Craig showed me that I didn't have to give them up.
Give what up?
Cookies!
Oh, it's heartbreaking. I can't go through an entire Christmas Eve with no cookies.
You don't have to. Craig is amazing. He makes me sugar-free cookies all the time.
Oh, boy, I'll bet that's a taste treat.
Actually, they're terrific. I love them all. Well, except for the peanut butter ones.
Really?
Yeah, they stick to the roof of my sock.
Santa, Cookie is the perfect example. He thought his life was over when he was diagnosed as a type 2 diabetic, but he can still have so many of the treats, including his favorite one, cookies.
Cookies!
And you can too.
Well,
Santa, you know what? I'll tell you what. On today's show, I'll whip up a batch of sugar-free chocolate chip cookies and sugar-free gingerbread cookies for you to take on your trip.
you will?
I sure will.
Hey, Craig.
Don't worry, Cookie. I'll save some for you too.
Yay!
But you've convinced me. I'm going to watch my diet, and I'm going to try your sugar-free cookies.
Good. Great.
Christmas is back on.
How do you like that? I save Christmas.
Oh,
What are you writing?
I'm adding humility to your Christmas list. Oh, I've got to get going. There's not much time. Oh, and by the way, Craig, I'll need 45 dozen of these sugar-free cookies by Christmas Eve.
Craig? You, Craig? Whoa. Hey, everybody. Merry Christmas. You better start the show.
45 does? Merry Christmas, everybody, and welcome to Off the Cuff.
Merry Christmas.
Well, as you saw, I'm going to have a really busy Christmas. Yeah, 45 dozen cookies. And you know what? I don't want to let Santa down.
Hey, don't forget me.
Or Cookie Creature. Let me explain about the chocolate chip cookies. Growing up, my mom always made a fresh batch of chocolate chip cookies every Christmas Eve, and I look forward to it, and they always tasted fantastic. So that's why I'm making low-carb, sugar-free chocolate chip cookies. And I was thinking about the gingerbread cookies. Yes, I know I promised them, but it's Christmas. Let's go a step further. Instead today, I'm going to make low-carb, sugar-free gingerbread men. This is going to be a lot of fun, and frankly, I better get started, so here are the ingredients. Okay, time for the ingredients for our Christmas cookies. We're going to start off with the sugar-free gingerbread. You need 2 cups of fine almond flour, 1 cup brown sugar erythritol, 3/4 of a cup of unsalted butter softened, 1/4 cup coconut flour, 1 tablespoon each of ground cinnamon and ginger, 1/4 teaspoon of ground cloves, 1/8 of a teaspoon ground nutmeg. Well, continued on the next slide. 1/2 teaspoon baking soda and xanthan gum, 1/4 teaspoon salt, and 1/2 tablespoon blackstrap molasses and almond milk. Now for the sugar-free chocolate chip cookies. 1 1/2 cups almond flour, 3/4 of a cup erythritol, 1/2 cup salted butter melted, 1 egg, 1 teaspoon vanilla extract, 1/2 teaspoon each of baking powder and xanthan gum, 1/4 teaspoon salt, and 3 ounces of your favorite sugar-free chocolate chips. First up, the gingerbread cookies, men. We start with our dry ingredients. All right, first goes the almond flour, the coconut flour. This is the cinnamon and the ginger. This is the xanthan gum, salt, and also the baking powder, or baking soda rather. This is the nutmeg and cloves. Right in. And now we mix it till it becomes one uniform. We just mix it. Sometimes there's no need for further explanation. Just mix it thoroughly, make sure it gets in there real nice. Break up any lumps you see, which I see a couple of baking soda lumps. I should have done that before I put them in, but it's okay. Okay, our dry ingredients are ready. Put that aside. Now it's time for the wet ingredients. Put in our butter. This is our softened butter. Let's get all of it in. And our brown erythritol. And we start to mix it. Oh yeah. And we're going to mix this until it gets well combined. Doesn't take too long to happen. Okay. We add our tablespoon of black strapped molasses. Yeah, I know this has carbs, but keep in mind, this is going to be spread out through several gingerbread men, so it's really not going to be that bad at all. Continue to mix. There we go, make sure it gets in. All right. Alrighty then, now we combine our creations. We take our liquid and we put it in here. We should have done this a little bit more gradual, but well, I have my plan. Now we start to mix very slowly. There we are. And we're gonna mix this till it becomes just about a dough. I have to be honest, at this point, I don't think that I'm going to need any almond milk. This seems pretty pliable. It's got enough moisture. It's actually working out pretty good. Let's see if we can make this into a ball. Oh yeah. We're going to make this into a dough ball. Here we are. We got the gingerbread dough ball right here. And now it's suggested that we take our gingerbread dough and we wrap it in plastic wrap and put it in the refrigerator for about an hour. I'm not plastic wrap. I'm gonna use a gallon-sized plastic bag. Ooh.
Oh, sweetly. I'm real smart.
In you go for 1 hour. Now, let's do those chocolate chip cookies. The chocolate chip cookies are quicker to make. So let's preheat the oven to 355 degrees. Follow me. We take our salted butter. There we are. And we take our erythritol. Plop. Plop is the name of the game. Now we beat this. We beat this until it's combined. Once it gets creamy like this, turn on the beater and put in your egg. Your vanilla. In goes the rest of the almond flour. There we are. Nice and clunky. This is the baking soda and also the xanthan gum. I'm sorry, baking powder. The salt. Now manually, you put in your chocolate chips and we stir that in like this. Oh yeah. You can get these chips anywhere. I got them actually from a big store that's all over the country. They mark down prices all the time. Yeah, and it starts with a W. Okay, we have our cookie sheet. We're gonna spray this with non-stick cooking spray. Here is our dough. Now, the dough in here is about 18.2 ounces of dough. I want to make 12 cookies, and, well, I asked my home assistant. I don't have that math skill. So it's 1.5 ounces each. Take it out, roll it up, and place it right here, and so on. Now I'm going to do this for all 12 of these cookies. Okay, and the last one, scrape this out of the bowl. And if on the Math Genius, I think I am, this should be 1.5 ounces. It's 1.2. I screwed up. Everything is ruined. Oh, it's 1.3. Hey, you know what? Close enough. All right, here's our 12 low-carb, sugar-free chocolate chip cookies now into the preheated oven. The oven has been preheated to 355 degrees. In go the cookies for 10 minutes exactly. Watch them. They can burn fast. 10 minutes up. Oh. These look great. Time to let them cool. Hey, while they're cooling, here's some food facts. The first known recipe for gingerbread harkens back to ancient Greece, and we're talking really ancient Greece. Yeah, 2400 BC. In Sanskrit, ginger root is Sri Gavera, not to be confused with Geraldo Rivera. Yeah. Translated, Sri Gavera means root that looks like a horn or horns. Now, I don't know if they're talking about trumpets or deer, but those be some funky looking horns. Jumping all the way ahead to the 10th century, China began cultivating ginger root. That's where all our food comes from, I think. China. Yeah, they actually used it for medicinal purposes. Then, of course, it found its way to Europe through the Silk Road, and actually it arrived in Europe in the year 992, thanks to an Armenian monk by the name of Gregory Nicopolis. There's Gregory. Oh, look! They made him a gingerbread guy. In the Middle Ages, ginger found itself a very popular spice, especially since it was known to preserve meats. Meanwhile,
King Henry VIII. There's the old boy himself. How you doing there, King?
he was using it for medicinal purposes. He actually used it to ward off sickness. As a matter of fact, he used ginger root to raise his resistance to the plague. Yeah. Makes you wonder, is that how ginger ale got its name?
I hereby name my ginger brew Ginger Ale, because it's great for what ails you. Remember, the guillotine still works. That's better.
Old King Henry wasn't that far off because ginger root indeed has many therapeutic properties. First off, it's excellent at helping with nausea and various stomach ailments. It's also an excellent anti-inflammatory and is loaded with antioxidants. I need to get some ginger for my knee. By the late Middle Ages, Europeans were busy making their own version of gingerbread cookies. First off, they were hard. They were also gilded with gold leaf, and they were shaped like animals, even kings and queens. They did, though, become very popular at medieval festivals. Yeah, they would be featured there as cookies. They got so popular that these fairs and festivals eventually became known as ginger fairs. Yeah, and the cookies were called fairings. In 16th century Germany, gingerbread houses originated. They quickly became popular, becoming a Christmas staple and soon after a tradition. The Brothers Grimm's famous fable of Hansel and Gretel featured the protagonists walking through the deep woods and finding a giant house made out of gingerbread. This added to the gingerbread house craze. Now, it's not known if Hansel and Gretel finding the house caused the houses to become popular in real life, or if real life made the Grimm brothers put it in the story. It's a mystery we shall never know. Also in the 16th century, a very busy century for gingerbread, the English associated fancy decorated gingerbread with all things upper class and elite. Also at this time, Queen Elizabeth I invented gingerbread men. She did. She made them, and she gave them out as gifts to guests, suitors, and dignitaries. Gingerbread came to America thanks to English colonists. Now, once here, Americans kind of made it differently. One of the big differences is they used molasses instead of sugar. The reason why? It was more plentiful and was also less expensive. Get this, in Virginia, they even used gingerbread to sway voters from one candidate to another. That must have been some gingerbread. If memory serves, I think something like that happened on American Idol a long time ago.
Without a doubt, that was the most horrid audition I have ever seen. However, your gingerbread is smashing. Welcome to Hollywood.
The first American cookbook, American Cookery by Amelia Simmons, actually featured 3 different recipes for gingerbread. One of them was a soft version, and that became quite a thing. As a matter of fact, George Washington's mother, Mary Ball Washington, was famous for making a soft version of gingerbread. So famous that she actually served it to the Marquis de Lafayette in Virginia once. He loved it. So much that now whenever you see that, it's called Lafayette gingerbread or gingerbread Lafayette. And now it's time for gingerbread trivia. The world's largest gingerbread house, well, you could find that in 2013 in Bryan, Texas. Yeah, this was gigantic. It was actually made by the Texas A&M Traditions Club for charity. Yeah, it was 60 feet by 42 feet, and it was over 39,000 cubic feet. Gingerbread is so popular, it has 2 national days, June 5th and November 21st. Maybe one's for bread and the other's for houses? And finally, in England, unmarried women are known to eat gingerbread husbands in order to increase the odds of them actually gaining a real one. Man, if that works. Tomorrow, I'm going to eat a gingerbread Tesla. And that's Food Facts. Okay, so I cut the dough in half because we're not going to need all that dough, really. I just want to make 3 or 4 gingerbread men. That's all. Just a few good men. Now we're going to take this between 2 pieces of parchment paper and we're going to roll it out nice and flat, or as flat as we can get it. It's a little finicky because it's been cooling. I'll tell you the truth, I actually put it in the freezer for 10 minutes, and it seems to be reacting better. You have a finite time to work with this batter, and the reason is it warms up quickly and it gets a little bit difficult to work with. So what's recommended is exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut out my gingerbread man molds, and I'm going to put it back into the freezer for 10 minutes. Then I'll be able to remove them and bake them. Now let's see how this looks so far. That looks wonderful. Now I have my handy dandy little gingerbread man mold. We're gonna make 4, I think. So he goes here, nice and tight. He goes right next to him. I think I'll get 4, let's see. And then nice and tight, he goes in 2. There's 2. Will I make? Yeah, I'm gonna make 4. Barely. He goes here. Alrighty then. And this one's gonna be tough. I'm going for it. Crunch. Okay. There's my 4. Now, I'm not going to try to take them off the sheet now. I'm going to put these in the freezer for 10 minutes. Okay, so these have been in the freezer for about 10 minutes. Let's see if we can pop these puppies out. Oh, that was pretty easy. Like I said, there's a limited amount of time you can do this with, because if they get too warm, this doesn't happen. It's like taking apart a puzzle. Here's our first gingerbread man. Or lady, I don't know. They do need to go a little bit far apart. So I use a small, maybe I use too small of a pan. That is possible. There we go. There's our gingerbread man. Now into the oven. All right, 12 to 15 minutes at 325. It's preheated. And I'll check it at about 10. The cookies are done. All we gotta do now is let them cool. And it's cookie time! Christmas cookies. Oh yeah, this was so much fun. Yeah, you know, when the holidays come, it's always nice to have a treat. And when you're type 2 diabetic, when you're watching your carbs, when it's really necessary that you can't have anything with carbs, this is a fantastic idea. I did mention that with the chocolate chip cookies, they became important to me because my mom, she always made the fresh cookies on Christmas Eve, and it's something I love, and I still do to this day, only now I do it with these. And the gingerbread men, people, I just broke his leg off, but that's okay. Maybe you saw him in Shrek? Yeah. Anyway. These are a treat too. It was just a last minute thing I thought I'd try. Gingerbread cookies are one thing. Gingerbread person, man, woman, whatever, is another. Now, I will say one thing in my own defense. Originally, I was going to put a little face, you know, belt buttons on each one of these figures. But I tried it several times. Look, I'm not a baker. I'm barely a chef. And I'm not an artist. And all I can tell you is each cookie I tried, it looked like that he was attended to during a gigantic earthquake, really. They looked like the gingerbread people from The Walking Dead. It just wasn't pretty, and I decided to just go with the plain one-legged ones, I guess. And, of course, you can use your own decorating. My biggest mistake was they do sell You know, the frosting. I should have did that rather than trying to make my own, but it's okay. Okay, time to taste. I've had these before. I'll give you an honest opinion on this batch, the chocolate chip, the low carb, sugar-free chocolate chip cookies. Crunchy, tasty. You get the chocolate from the sugar-free chocolate chips right away. Very sweet, crumbly, just what you'd expect out of a chocolate chip cookie. Now, for the gingerbread person with one leg. Soft, tasty, a little spicy. It tastes, I tasted ginger. It's gingerbread. These are terrific. Merry Christmas, everybody. Thank you so much for watching Off the Cuff. And remember, until next time, be well, eat good.
On the next episode of Off the Cuff, I boldly go where I've never gone before.
Today, I'm going to make a food that I've never made before.
Sushi using cauliflower rice. And since sushi is a brain food, it's time for a trivia slam.
Welcome to Super Mega Trivia Slam. I'm your host, Steve Strangio. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, it's Craig Mitchell.
Hey, Steve!
In Food Facts, we learn it takes 10 years to become a sushi chef.
Paging Dr. Sushi. Paging Dr. Sushi.
It's low carb, do it yourself sushi goodness.
Let's see how this goes. That's really good.
That's Off the Cuff Healthy Cooking with Craig Mitchell. Alternate Sundays right here on Strong Island Entertainment.